So in today's video, I wanted to talk about buying gold, precious metals such as silver, palladium, and other commodities such as oil through the Trading 212 platform. So there are two main ways you can do this. The first and safer option is doing it through an exchange traded fund, an ETF. So if you come down here, click on the search icon, click on ETFs, you can go to the commodity funds. So they have their oil, gold, silver, palladium, and then they've also got ones that track the whole precious metals kind of market. So Wisdom Tree, physical precious metals. So an ETF is when you buy gold or other commodities through an ETF, you're essentially owning that precious metal such as gold on paper. So you never receive the gold, you never see it, but essentially you own that value of gold in cash through the ETF, which has its pros and cons, mainly being that you can sell it pretty much on demand at the current market price. And obviously another pro is you don't physically have to store it, which can have loads of security issues. It can be stolen, lost, damaged. And with gold being so expensive at the moment, so a tiny little 1 ounce coin, I think it's £1,600 at the moment, something crazy like that. So an ETF can be beneficial in that way, but then also with a lot of precious metals investors, they often say if you can't physically hold it or touch it or see it, then you don't own it. And a lot of people do not recommend that if they're heavily invested in precious metals. Another reason that is because precious metals is kind of seen as a safe haven. If everything really does go tits up, the whole economy crashes, very worst case scenario is precious metals will be there to take the form of currencies. And obviously if you only own it through an ETF, the whole system crashes. You're never going to be able to capitalize on that ownership or the cash that you had invested into it. But obviously that's doomsday, worst case scenario. So that's very unlikely. So that is the main one, an ETF there. The next is buying gold through the contract for difference account, the CFD account on Trading 212. Here it's a similar thing. You don't own the gold, but it's done through a paper transaction. And if I open up here, let's see. So here we go. So we've got gold on the watch list. So a contract for difference is basically a gamble on whether the price of gold will go up or down. It is a paid service on Trading 212. So there are fees when you make trades through the CFD account. So that is how Trading 212's business model operates. So it's essentially the ISA and Invest account are freemium models to draw people in. And then once you're here, you can play around with the CFD, and that's how they make their money. So a contract for difference, as I said, you're basically betting it to go one way or the other. So if you sell it, you want the price of gold to go down, and if you buy it, you want it to go up. And you get your payment, your money made is through the difference. Again, that's where the gamble comes in. So CFDs, personally, I don't use because it's all leverage, which means you can lose more than you put in. And that's too risky for me. I want to hold stuff for the longer terms. I think that's a safer and better option. Hence why I have no funds in my CFD account. So yeah, they're the two main ways you can buy gold. As I said, it's with other commodities. You've got oil, palladium, silver, loads of different stuff you can buy on there. Another thing to note is buying gold through paper means such as the ETF is why it is also frowned upon or kind of looked down on with some investors, is because there is some fraudulent activity somewhere in the world. So the amount of gold on paper bought through ETFs and other means actually outweighs and is valued a lot higher than the amount of gold ever produced or is known to be physical and tangible gold that you can actually touch. So somewhere people are double selling. So they're saying, yeah, you own this ounce of gold, but they sell it to you and your friend. So they basically sold 1 ounce of gold to two people claiming that they've got 2 ounces of gold. And technically neither of them people own the gold because it's doubled down and it's done fraudulently. So that's something to be wary of. I'm sure like Wisdom Tree is a massive company. So they're the main ETF holders on Trading 212 that I've noticed, that and iShares. So just be careful with that. It is worth doing. I have purchased a silver bullion because it's a lot cheaper than gold, but that's because I like the physical and it's more of a collector's item more than an investment. But yeah, so that's the main ways to buy gold and other precious metals through Trading 212. So let me know if you do have any unique commodities or precious metals in your portfolio. I'll be interested to hear your kind of thoughts and opinions on them. But anyway, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.